guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about the Beijing International Ballet Competition. I just got out of class yesterday. I kind of literally room rotted all day. During last semester, I talked a little bit about this during my my video talking about my first year here. So check that out if you have time. But during my last semester, we did the first and second round of selecting participants from BDA to participate in the competition. And so basically what that was we would pick a variation and then we'd go in with all of the ballet teachers and then they would select who would go on to the second round. So I got past the first round and then I got to the second round, and it was the same thing except this was kind of happening during summer break. And then a few weeks later, they were like, okay, cool, now we have the participants for the first round of the competition. So the first round of the actual competition was the filming thing, which I actually didn't know until after it was over. But I was selected to participate in the competition after the first round. And I talked a lot about the filming process for that, but basically we went to one of the small theaters here in school to film our variations, and I filmed Esmeralda. And I went back to Arizona, and I was in Arizona for probably 2 or 3 weeks before my teachers were like, hey, you gotta come back. So I came back to school mid-August to start preparing for the competition. Then we were in the process of picking my variations for the first round. For the first round, it was technically the second round, so picking variations for the second round, and basically we were kind of having a really hard time with it. We knew that Esmeralda had to be my final round because it was my first round, and that's how it was, it was the first round variation is your last round variation. I was like, okay, cool. Well, that's one variation. We picked Key Tree, and then we worked on only Key Tree non-stop for around a month before even thinking about a second variation, because fun fact, I hate Key Tree so much. I've never danced that variation. I've always thought that it was just too hard for me, but I definitely grew a lot from having to run Key Tree every single day. We ended up picking the Medora variation about a month and a few weeks before the competition. Key Tree and Medora at least 2 to 3 times every single day with my teachers. So how that kind of worked with my schedule was Monday, I'd have ballet class in the morning, and then I'd do my variations after class in the boys' variations class. Tuesday, we have a variations class right after ballet class, so I would just do it during that. Wednesday, I would do it in between ballet and partnering because there's a 20-minute break in between each class, so I would just do it in between ballet and partnering. Thursday, again, in between ballet and partnering, and then Friday, I would do it during rep class. And then on the weekends, we got to rest. Around a month before the competition, I choreographed my own contemporary, and I worked with a teacher for 3 hours on it, and then we just left it right there. Basically, that running my variations every single day, that went on from the mid-August until the first week of October. That was just warm-up time. I was learning the variations, starting to get the stamina down, and just really focusing in. We had a check from all of the leaders right before the national holiday, October 1st through 9th. It's a 9-day holiday, I think. We had a check the day before that holiday started. Key Tree was pretty good. There's nothing super memorable about it that's bad. It was pretty good. Things were pretty solid. But Medora, we were in a smaller classroom than what I'm used to, and after the 3 big grand jetés from the corner right before the last piqué turns, I didn't realize how close I was to the window, and all of the windows in every classroom have these huge curtains that go all the way up to the ceiling. And what had happened was I got too close, and I ended up accidentally grabbing the curtain and throwing it all the way over my body while doing double piqué turns. So I really quickly threw it off and continued going, and I was we had to bow for this, and I was standing right in front of my teacher for the bow, and I could see her laughing, and it was so funny. But at the end of the day, there was nothing bad to say about it. During national holiday, everybody else got to rest. We were grinding. We were doing class every single day, and Professor Vladimir Malikov offered to help me and my classmate with our variations. So we had in total 3 rehearsals with Malikov during national holiday. So the first rehearsal was with no music. No music was played, nobody even connected to the Bluetooth, and it was just corrections that he had from memory when he had seen me dance during previous checks from the school. And we worked on all 3 variations, just details and stylistic changes, for 3 hours. The second rehearsal was Kitri and Esmeralda with music, and we incorporated all those corrections and stylistic changes, and we focused a lot on the artistry. So because we only did 2 variations, that rehearsal lasted around an hour and a half. And then the third rehearsal was Medora and Esmeralda, and it was the exact same thing as the second rehearsal, which is where we would just do it with music and incorporate those stylistic changes. After national holiday, we have about 2 weeks until competition starts. So we're going back to that schedule of rehearsing it 3 to 4 times every single day and doing each variation at least 1 or 2 times. For this competition, there was an opening ceremony that none of the participants had to participate in. None of us were asked to be in it because they were like, oh, you guys should focus on your thing. However, the one dance from the ballet department was Waltz of the Flowers, and my classmate twisted her ankle a week before the opening ceremony, so they asked me to be in it. So I had to do rehearsals for Waltz at the same time as rehearsing my variations. So the first day that I did Waltz, I made the mistake of saying, yeah, let's do Waltz first, because they were like, you can choose which one you want to do first. Do you want to do Waltz first, or do you want to do your variations first? And I was like, oh, let's do Waltz first. We did Waltz 2 or 3 times, and that is a 7-minute dance, and I could not dance my variations after. I was like, oh yeah, today I'm gonna dance Esmeralda and Kitri after this. I could barely get through 1 full time of Esmeralda, and my teacher filmed it, and it was so bad because I was so tired. And after that first rehearsal for Waltz, I was like, no. From now on, it's my variations first and then Waltz. Like, I'm not gonna put my rehearsals for my variations in jeopardy just for the opening ceremony. You know what I mean? We were really, really blessed to have some stage rehearsal time. So we were not on the big stage that we were on for the actual competition. They put us on a smaller stage just so that we could feel it with lights. We got an hour and a half per class. So from my class, it's just me and 1 boy. So between us, we had an hour and a half. So what we were doing was we were running variations back to back with corrections in between. So I would run a variation, get corrections. He would run a variation, get corrections, and we would just go back and forth like that until the time was up. There was one day, they were like, okay, you guys need to go to the big stage to rehearse Waltz of the Flowers and walk it and do spacing and lighting. So we were doing Waltz rehearsal on stage for like 2 hours, and then I look at the time and I'm like, oh my god, I have my other stage rehearsal in the other theater. So I ran to the other theater and did all of my variations within 15 minutes, and I just legit almost died. And then I had to go back to a classroom 30 minutes after that to continue rehearsing Waltz. Basically, from that last week right before competition, it was just non-stop rehearsals for Waltz and my variations up until the first day of competition. Comp week. October 20th was not technically the first day, it was the day before it actually started. But I had class at 8 a.m. and then I had my variations rehearsals at 10 a.m. and then we had this stage rehearsal for Waltz from like 2 to 4. I am not even kidding. The theater was probably 10 degrees. Like, it was colder than it was outside, and it's cold here. And then that day, I met all of the MBA students and Swavamir at the hotel, and then me, Cynthia, and Jessica took them to the bank and then brought them to school to eat. October 21st is technically the first day of competition. This is the day of the opening ceremony. So I had class at 8 a.m. and then I ran my variations in parts because my teacher didn't want me to be too tired for the performance and for the next day. So we did my variations in parts, and then we usually have like makeup artists, but my teacher was like, rest, don't go stand in line and get your makeup done, just have one of the classmates take a picture of their makeup and just recreate it. So that's what I did. We had a show run through starting at 2 p.m. and let's keep this in mind for later. I got to the theater and had my pointe shoes on from 1 p.m. The show run through ended at like 4 o'clock, and then I was informed that I had to be the English host, because for like shows in China, there's always like hosts in the beginning, and because this is an international event, they needed to have a host that spoke Chinese and a host that spoke English, because Miss Linda downstairs, she heard the original woman, bless her heart, that was supposed to do it, and Linda was like, no, this can't happen. And apparently Mary was standing with Linda, and she was like, where's Alicia? And Mary was like, she's in this performance, she's on stage right now. And Linda verbatim says, I don't care, put her on. The show run through ended at 4. They hand me these horrible hand cards, and the English translation is just so bad. So I text Linda and I'm like, yo, this needs to be changed because none of this is accurate at all, and it actually makes no sense at all. So we need to change this. So I had to go to the office to reprint the English translation because it was not good. And then I had to go to a competitor meeting at 5 o'clock because we had to draw our orders for the competition. This isn't like any other dance competition I've been to before where they like order you by age. What you do is you go into a room and you pick from a bag what number you get. And I drew number 1. And we had to confirm the order of our variations, the names of our variations and dances, confirm the music, and pick a background color for the stage. And my teacher was like, just pick the light blue. I was like, okay, cool. After that meeting, I went back to the office to continue working on the English translation stuff until 5:30, printed everything out, made the hand cards, and then got back to the theater at 6 to re-warm up again. The show started at 7, the show ended at 10. That day was so stressful and so tiring. October 22nd, I had class at 9 a.m. and then I did my variations in parts. And then I showed a little bit of this during the vlog, but each competitor had 10 minutes to themselves on stage. And I was like, oh wow, 10 minutes is fantastic compared to 10 minutes with everybody on the stage. 10 minutes just by yourself and your teacher gets the microphone and they have your music pulled up. So I chose to run my variations all the way through. I did Medora, the entire thing, and then the last half of Medora, and then my classmate was waiting for me backstage and changed my costume really quick to Keytree, and Keytree was basically the exact same thing, did the entire variation and then the last half, and literally right as I hit that last attitude, I heard them go, your time is up, and then I just chilled for the rest of the day. And then I watched Group B compete at 7 p.m. and then went to bed at around like 9:30, 10. October 23rd, this is competition day 1. I had class at 8 a.m. and then I did my variations in parts, and then I went and had lunch like super quick and took a fat nap because I was like, yo, I need to sleep today, I need my rest, I need my energy because competition starts at 7 p.m. I started doing my makeup around 3 o'clock and it took me around 1.5 to 2 hours to finish it because I wanted it to look super like ethereal, so I spent so much time on it. And then I went to a classroom at 5 and warmed up like by myself with a small class, and then went downstairs to the theater, continued warming up, put my costumes on, and competition started at 7. Because I'm the first one, I got to just literally warm up and just go on stage, which was so great. Like, that's so fantastic. Medora was amazing. I was like, I have time before tea tree. I was so convinced I had time before tea tree. I thought that there was another boy before the end of the boys round, so I thought that I had time to fix my makeup because my teacher drew the hair things on me, and then when I came over I was like, okay, red lips? And she was like, yes. And also, add a little bit of red lipstick to extend your eyeliner. I was like, okay, cool. So I did that, and I'm still doing that, and I hear my teacher calling my name. She's like, where are you, where are you, where are you? And I was like, I'm in here. Like, I'm just like being super chill. And she was like, you go on next. And I was like, what? I had my costume on already, but my teacher started tearing off the layers of warm-ups over my costume, and I just threw myself on stage. And honestly, there was no issues. It still went great. So, not that bad. And then I got informed that I was submitted into final round at 10:30 p.m. Yes. 好。我不知道。I got informed that I was submitted into final round at 10:30 p.m., which was immediately followed from a text from my teacher saying class was at 8 o'clock. And at that point, I'm still in full stage makeup and hadn't started unpacking at all. October 24th, class at 8 a.m. But it ended up starting at 8:45 because we were sharing a classroom with the middle school, because the middle school kids, their stage walk was earlier than ours. And because like they're from our school, my teacher was like, okay, they like just, my kids will warm up in the front. They're just gonna stretch on the ground. Your kids will finish their class and then go downstairs and do their thing. So we did class, and class ended at 10. We ran Esmeralda in parts, and then I worked on my contemporary by myself and just kind of chilled in the classroom and went downstairs to the stage at around 10:45 for my stage walk at 11. Esmeralda, I did the whole thing in costume and then the last half, and then had to run to change my contemporary costume. Changed into socks, put on I had the leotard underneath my my tutu, so it would just make it easier. And then that was done. I came back to my room, and then my teacher started spam texting me talking about how we had to change my contemporary costume. She had one of my classmates bring 3 leotards of the same style in different colors. It's like the boat neck one with like something that has like the arms fully out, because I have really long arms. So my teacher wanted those to be exposed. Originally I had gloves, and she was like, you can't wear the gloves. I was like, why? And she was like, I know the gloves look cool, but your arms are really long and they need to be out. I was like, okay. I had to send pictures of every single pair of black pants that I own to my teacher with all of the leotards. And after like 45 minutes of that, she was like, none of these are okay. Meet me at the dance stores. I went to a dance store with my teacher. She bought me my contemporary pants, which I'm actually wearing today. I told her after she bought them for me, I was like, I promise I'm gonna wear these every single day. I had to go back to the theater with the new costume so that I could show the department head the new costume. And then I finally got to take a nap, and I overslept by like an hour and a half because of how tired I was. And I did makeup super quick, and then got to the theater 20 minutes before the B group started their final round, and warmed up backstage and did my own class. And I was ready for the 10-minute intermission in between the B group and the A group where I could feel the stage. And I did Esmeralda, and I did my contemporary. Nothing bad. Did pretty good. I'm very proud of myself. We got done at 11 p.m. and we had to stay there the whole time so that everybody could take pictures with each other, which I'm not mad at because I have the most precious picture of me and my teacher. October 25th. I have to be the English host for another show. It's like an international representation show, so it's a bunch of people from different parts of the world showing off their dances. So I had to be the English host for that, and literally sat in the theater from 10:30 in the morning until showtime. Just waiting for a teacher to call me telling me what to do, because I don't have a script, I don't have hand cards, I don't have anything. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm exhausted. And I keep falling asleep backstage and then being woken up by phone calls, and then falling back asleep and then being woken up again. And so the show started at 7. and I slept backstage on the floor in a dress and heels for the entire show. And then the show ended at 10 o'clock. October 26th, I had to be the English host again for the closing gala. Basically the same thing where I just had to sit all day and just wait for people. But they changed the script on me last second, and I had to run up to the office, retype the entire thing, print it, and make hand cards. At the end of the day, I did not place. I don't have a problem with that. A lot of people are like, oh, you should only go to competitions to win and this and that and the other, which, so if that's you, go for it. But honestly, I don't care about the outcomes of competitions, but I care more about what I learned and how I improved during the process of this. Like, I improved so much during that just like 2-3 month period of just working with my teachers so closely, because I had private rehearsals with my teachers every single day, and in classes my teacher was going extra hard on me, and I learned a lot about myself as a dancer, and I learned a lot about myself as a person, and I think that that's way more valuable to me than, oh, I got first place, oh, I got second place, oh, I got third place, oh, I got some honorary award. Like, I just don't care. I've been to so many competitions that I really just don't care. I know it kind of sounds bad, like, oh, I don't care about competitions. I do care about competitions, but I care about them in a different way. But I will be honest, the week before the competition, I was crying almost every single day, just out of fear of not like doing bad for me, but I was afraid that I was gonna let my teacher and the department down, because I'm the only female from the freshman. At the time, I'm a freshman. I'm the only student from the freshman class, the female freshman class, that's participating in this competition. So I was afraid that if I did bad, I was going to let everybody down. It's a lot of pressure to be the only student from my class chosen to participate in this competition. So I was worried that if something didn't go to plan, or if I messed up, I was somehow gonna like make my teacher hate me or something, but that's just not the reality. Something that I had to really push myself to realize is that as students, we are not meant to be perfect. Oh my God. We're not meant to be perfect, and teachers are meant to know that, because every teacher was a student once too. I've never cried in a YouTube video before. Something that I've been really working on this semester, and that I have done a really, really good job at, is just to remind myself to take things one moment at a time. Are happening at the same time, like too many events or too many this or personal stress, I get overwhelmed and I just shut down. But I realized in order to be in this competition and to participate in this competition, I have to drag myself back up, and that is what I did. So I'm not only representing the international department, I'm representing Beijing Dance Academy, the ballet department at Beijing Dance Academy, and myself as a dancer. I learned that I have to be patient with myself and with the situations around me. Oh, I don't know why that was so hard to say. I am so grateful. I'm so happy. And I am satisfied and I am content, because I gained more from this experience than I could have ever imagined. I'm trying not to screw up my makeup because I have lunch with a friend in 30 minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you all.